Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video, and excuse me if my voice kind of goes in and out. It's a little crackly today. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling a little bit under the weather. Anyway, I digress. So I've had some time to kind of like digest, I guess, this Summoner Resort and Summoner Camp. Basically, it's what's in lieu of the Summoner appreciation calendar. And first off, this event quest, this side event quest, and this whole thing was really confusing, right? Because like first you had to get, you know, the little sunglasses, which of course I got them all already for today, just burning through the event quest, the uncollected event quest. So you got to win 10 fights, which isn't hard. What? That's 3 full rounds of arena plus 1 fight, or, you know, basically like a path and some odd path and a half in an event quest or whatever. So it's not hard to do that. But the way this was set up was really convoluted. So you would complete your 10 fights and you would get the little pop-up here that you got your sunglasses or whatever, which you can see if you go to your inventory, right? You go to your items, you can see your little sunglasses, which they're somewhere in here, whatever. I'm not gonna, or not, they're not in there, but you guys know what I mean. So, and then those sunglasses would unlock a point system here in the Summoner Camp, which is basically the free-to-play version. So you get all kinds of, you get these rewards, right? It's basically like a punch card, right? So think of it like you complete 10 fights, you get a punch on your card, that gives you the reward, right? And then you can use those points to go into the store. And I know a bunch of stuff has been already put out about, you know, the gist of how this works, right? And then you can buy this stuff with the little token things that you get, right? But then guys, if you want to double your rewards, you can buy the Summoner Resort Pass. So it's basically like for 20 bucks, you can get the Summoner Resort Pass, which basically doubles your rewards. And I've had a lot of time to kind of like think about this, and I don't think there was like any ill intent with how Kabam released this. I think it had a lot to do with like, hey, let's try something different other than the Summoner Appreciation Calendar. And so they went about it this way, but it ended up being really confusing because you had people who would do the 10 fights and then not realize they had to, you know, claim the sunglasses in order to move on. So then Kabam, well, and I digress, right? Because then Kabam did a kind of a cool thing, right? So then they offered the Summoner Event Booster. So if you missed claiming some of the things, you could go ahead and claim them and, you know, get a little basically like a safety net, right, for things that you missed out on. So that was really nice that they did add that in there, because this was so convoluted at the beginning. I remember it was, no one really knew what was going on, right? So okay, so where was I? Oh yes, back to this. So you can buy the Summoner Resort Pass, which essentially like doubles your rewards, right? And while this kind of works in theory, it leaves a bit of a bad taste in my mouth because number one, I think it's overpriced. 20 bucks or 15 bucks, whichever one you want to get here, for this is honestly, it's a bit overpriced. If it was 5 bucks, I probably wouldn't have even batted an eye and I would have bought it. Because I mean, I've spent $5 a day on coffee. So, you know, 5 bucks for this, why not? Right? But the fact that it was 20, I kind of just was like, nah, I could buy 4 cups of coffee with that. So, that kind of made my decision of why I'm not going to buy the Summoner Resort, Pass Plus. So this leads me, this kind of drawn out way was basically where I was going with this. So this kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth as to where Kabam could potentially be headed when it comes to these sorts of deals. Now, I don't think they'll do anything like this again in the future. They received a lot of negative feedback. At least I honestly hope they don't. I would just much rather have the Summoner Appreciation Calendar added back in. But it leaves a very bad taste in my mouth, because what this does is you're widening the gap even more between the free-to-play and the pay-to-win players. And there's already such a large gap there when it comes to things like T5 class catalysts and that sort of thing. I mean, honestly, the 4th of July deals really jumped that ahead for a lot of people. So it can be rough. And I mean, there is some really good stuff in here, right? I mean, there's nothing necessarily that's game breaking in here, right? You got a lot of T5B, and that's great, and 6-star shards. That's 6,400 6-star shards is nice. There's a 2% T5 class catalyst, a 5-star awakening gem generic in there, and then you got a 5-star awakening gem crystal. But if you're Thronebreaker, you could take those 5-star awakening gem crystals and 5-star generic and just kind of be like, whatever, right? But the 6-star shards is what's really nice. So there's nothing really game breaking in here. So the fact that they made it kind of a paywall aspect to it, I don't really like, because there are players who, and I mean, I'm still one of those players, right? I still use 5 stars. There are some 5 stars that I value greater over 6 stars, and those are ones that need a high sig level who I can't sig up. So, like Namor, or something along those lines, or Thing. I hardly ever use my 6-star Thing because he's only sig 20. Now I'll use my 5-star Thing because he's sig 200, and Thing can take a hit. So it's things like that, and I don't want this video to be too long. But it's a very slippery slope for Kabam to go down, right? Because what it does is, like I said, it's gonna widen the gap even more between the free to play and the pay to win, and that's not good. That could lead to a lot of bad things. You'll have a lot of the free to play players leave the game because they won't think, they won't be able to keep up and that sort of thing. So it's not a great look to have. I would really like the Summoner Appreciation Calendar. I mean, if they would do this again, just don't have the pay aspect in it. Like, I don't mind doing a fun little thing, win 10 fights, claim sunglasses, whatever. But don't put a pay to win aspect in it. Don't do that. That's not right. And I'm just not a fan of it. And I know a lot of other people aren't either. But I do like the concept behind this. It's not as mundane as like, here's your summoner event calendar. This is what you get on this day. This is what you get on this day, right? Like, I like the aspect of quote unquote earning, because you're just winning 10 fights. So as long as you do 10 fights a day, you're golden. So I do like that aspect of it. Like I said, I just don't like the pay portion of it. And I also don't like how confusing it was. We did figure it out eventually, and Kabam did kind of make up for it by adding in that little booster there, which is always good. I'm very OCD. I don't like notifications. Don't ask me how I have all these crystals, because I'm a hoarder, but I also don't like notifications. So there's that. But anyways, guys, I don't want this to drag on more and more, but how do you think Kabam could improve on Summoner Appreciation or the Summoner Camp? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. I would love to hear your ideas on it. But anyways, guys, that's all that I got. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy this quick word from Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and if you enjoyed the mediocre Mcoc video full of scrub gameplay, then show Katy some love by hitting like and subscribe, man. Katy don't ask for much. Katy did ask for this. Katy did. So do like Katy did and bug people and get you to like and subscribe, man. She's doing that Mcoc beautifully, not mediocre. Katy!